This story took place in the mountains of North America. There lives a man named Franz Smith, who leads a quiet life in harmony with nature. One day, his life changed dramatically when an eagle suddenly carried off his grandson during a family holiday. This event shocked everyone, and everyone wanted to know the reason why the eagle did it. Franz Smith was a man who devoted his life to caring for animals and nature. He was a guardian of nature and always tried to help wounded or needy creatures. One day he went hunting and found a wounded eagle with a damaged wing. Franz decided to help the eagle and brought him home to cure him. For several weeks, Franz looked after the eagle, fed it, watered it, and treated its wounds. The eagle was staring at him intently, and there was a special bond between them. When the eagle recovered and became big enough to fly, Franz took it outside and let it go. He knew it was time to release the eagle and let it return to its home. Looking at Franz, the eagle spread its wings and soared into the air. The man watched until the eagle became a small dot in the sky. However, the story did not end there. Returning to the mountains, the eagle continued to visit his savior and his wife. Every few days he would sit on the nearest tree and watch the people. Sometimes he even joined them. The connection between Franz and the eagle has never disappeared. In their friendship, they found an understanding that goes beyond words. With his care and kindness, Franz found a friend in Oral. A few years later, Franz had a grandson. His parents decided to bring the baby to the mountains so that he could meet his grandparents. "Look, Albert, these are the mountains where your grandfather lived all his life, and one day I'll teach you everything here." Sitting on the porch of the house and holding his grandson in his arms, Franz said. At that moment, a familiar scream sounded in the air. Franz looked up and saw that the eagle was circling above them. "And this, Albert, is a very special friend," Franz said, pointing to the eagle. "He is also a part of these mountains." The eagle came down and perched on the branches, curiously examining the newborn baby. He seemed to be greeting him. That evening, the Smith family celebrated Albert's arrival with a big feast. Laughter and joy filled the air as everyone gathered to celebrate the new family member. The eagle watched the celebration from his tree, not taking his eyes off. However, as the day progressed, the eagle began to behave strangely. He made unusual cries and flapped his wings. Franz, who was watching the eagle, felt uneasy. Something was wrong. And then the unimaginable happened. The eagle suddenly broke off from a branch, rushed to the child, grabbed it with its claws and flew away with it. Franz's heart stopped when he saw the eagle carrying off his grandson. The Smith family rushed after the eagle, screaming and waving their arms in a desperate attempt to get the bird to release the baby. Franz was confused and terrified. The creature that he went out and considered a friend had kidnapped his grandson. He couldn't understand it. How could a bird that had shown so much gratitude and friendship now do that? Fear for Albert mixed this with a sense of betrayal. He trusted the eagle, opened his home and heart to him, and now it all seemed to be in vain. But deep down, he refused to believe that the animal could harm them. There was something wrong that he didn't understand. And then the earth trembled, a deafening roar filled the air, and the mountains behind Franz's house began to collapse. Huge rocks and earth collapsed right on top of the Smith family's house. Franz and his family stopped dead in their tracks, watching in horror as their house was destroyed by a landslide. The house, which had been home to generations of Smiths, turned into ruins in a matter of seconds. But then the eagle returned from the sky. He smoothly descended and laid Albert on the ground. The family rushed to him, hugging and crying with relief. Franz turned to the eagle, his eyes full of amazement and gratitude. "You knew this was going to happen, and you took Albert to a safe place. You saved us all," said Franz. The eagle just stared at him with its golden eyes shining with an almost human mind. Then, with a final scream, he soared into the sky and disappeared from sight. From that day on, Franz and his family never forgot their duty to the eagle. Although their house was destroyed, they remained alive and unharmed thanks to the timely intervention of the eagle. Dear viewers, if you liked this video, then like and subscribe to our channel. Goodbye.